Hi, my name's Kath Fay. I'm going to talk with you a little bit today about how writers make storybooks. Do you love stories? I'll bet you do. Maybe there's a favorite book that you love to hear again and again. Maybe you have a movie that you saw recently and there's a favorite part in there and you like to pretend you're the characters and act out that part. Maybe your family has some funny stories and then you tell what happened, and when you tell it, you laugh and laugh about that time. Or maybe there's a toy that you like to play, like Pokemon, and when you go outside, you pretend that the Pokemon characters are evolving and that different things happen to them. Or maybe you have toys like these cars or stuffed animals, and maybe you pretend a story like this bad guy's getting chased away and the police has to go so fast to catch him, and then the bad guy's almost about to get away and then he crashes into something and the police are able to save him, to get him. So I'm kind of like you. I love stories, and I get ideas for stories from my imagination or even from books that I've heard or things that that have happened to my family or toys that I like to play with. So I thought we could talk for a moment about some different kinds of stories so that when you want to make a story, one of these ideas might give you an idea on how to get started. Okay? So I have a list of a few different kinds of storybooks, and I'm going to go through and show these to you, and then I'm going to think about how I might make a story, and at the same time you could be thinking about a storybook that you might make, your very own idea. Okay? All right, so let's get started. So I was thinking, when writers make storybooks, they get ideas from, there's a lot of different kinds they can do, right? So there's real life stories. So we can make real life stories, like a personal narrative about something that happened to us in real life. It could be something that happened to us or something that happened to someone that we know. There are superhero stories are really fun to make. So you can make a story about Spider-Man or Black Panther, Wonder Woman, or you can make up a superhero. What's your superhero going to be named, and what strength are they going to have? That's kind of fun. You could have stories with magic. So everybody has heard of Harry Potter probably, and those stories are great stories about magic. You can make up a story about magic. Yeah, that's fun. Realistic fiction is another kind of story. And what that means is it's a story that could happen to somebody in real life, but maybe you made it up. It didn't really happen to anybody you know, but you made it up. Okay? All right, so let me think for a minute. I'm going to go through and think about some possible stories that I might make, and then I'm going to pick one to do today. And you might do the same thing. So while I'm thinking, hopefully that will help you think about what story you might make. All right? So listen to me for a minute, and then I'll give you a chance to do your own, to come up with your own idea. Okay? So let's see. What could a real life story? Okay. So if I was going to do a real life story, oh, I know. I might make a story about our dog, Buddy. He saw a bunny the other day. Yeah, he chased a bunny the other day and dove right into a bush. It was crazy. Pulled me through the bushes. That would be a fun story to make. Let's see. Superhero story. So if I was making a superhero story, I need to think about who my superhero is and what strength they have. And then maybe like, what's the problem? So maybe, I think I want my superhero to have super strength. So maybe there's like, maybe I'm thinking about those cars. Maybe there's a bridge that's cracked and the cars that are about to go across are about to fall into the water. And the superhero has to hold up the bridge till the cars get to the other side. But then they'd have to fly too. So maybe my superhero would fly and have super strength. Magic, stories with magic. So if I was going to do that, they could have a wand, or they could have some spells that they say. Oh, I know a kind of magic. How about a potion? Like they put together things and make a potion, and when you drink it, you get that something happens to you. So maybe my character, Oh, let me think. Oh, I'm going to think like the dog. I'm remembering what happened with Buddy. He had such a good sense of smell. He smelled that rabbit in the bush. So maybe my character lost something and they make a potion so that when they drink it, they have the super smell of a dog and then they can sniff out and find the thing they lost. That would be fun to make, that one. Okay, realistic fiction. So what's something that could happen, but I'm just going to make it up. Oh, I know. My neighbor is learning how to skateboard, and he's really getting quite good at turning. But I think maybe I'll make a skateboard story where like the person's learning how to do tricks, and maybe they can do some really cool trick. I've never seen him do this, but like where you go up a ramp and you turn around and then you land on your skateboard. Wow, that would be neat. Maybe I'll make a story about a skateboarder, somebody who's learning a new trick. So did you see how I just thought through some possible ideas? No, maybe I'll do this one. Maybe I'll do that one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of those stories to make into my book today. While I'm thinking about which one I'm going to pick, and I'm going to just draw the cover, take a moment and think about what's a story that you might want to make. Is it about yourself? Is it something that happened to you? Do you want to make up a superhero story? Or a story with magic? Or do you have some cool thing that you want to pretend happened? You think for a minute while I write my cover, okay? All right, I'll be right back. Are you thinking? I'm just drawing a little cover. Did you come up with an idea? What's your story about? Mine, the one I'm going to do, I think I'm going to call it Puppy Potion. And I'm going to write about somebody lost something and then they were able to make a magical potion to get that sense of dog smell. So if you have a great idea of a story that you want to make today, tell somebody near you or tell yourself that story a little bit. Maybe you have a piece of paper and just sort of like touch what happens. Maybe you want to make the cover and just draw the different things on the inside. I hope you have a great time making up storybooks. And maybe you can read it to somebody that you know or tell it to somebody that you know. You could even send it to your teacher if you have the ability to do that. They would love to hear that story. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.